called the press conference because we wanted to ensure that the public knew that we were taking steps to confirm that, obviously, first of all, that Bradford would complete their fixture on Sunday, which they will, and that they'll complete the rest of the season, and also to report back on the very constructive meeting that we had with the clubs this morning.
And I think you guys have gone on record in saying that you're very confident that this whole mess, if you like, if I can call it that, it will be eventually sorted out.
Yeah, it's still got some twists and turns to go. No one's kidding themselves that that's not the case, but we're really confident that there's interested people looking at the club and want to take it forward. That the clubs, the other Super League clubs, are supportive of making sure that it finishes its season fixtures, and that there is a future for Bradford Bulls in one way or another.
Right now our concentration is making sure that we do what we can with Bradford Bulls to ensure that they have a positive future, and we take the necessary steps to work with the administrator to ensure that they see the season out, and to give the club the best chance it has going forward.
Tell us a bit about the steps that the Rugby Football League are actively taking to help the Bradford Bulls through this, if that is a possibility.
Well, obviously some issues remain confidential, but we're certainly working with the administrator to explore new ownership issues, and who potentially may take the club on as a new stakeholder investor in the sport. But on a more day-to-day level, there's practical support being given to the playing pool and those staff that have remained at the club, and also I think as you're aware, there's an interim chief executive there that's gone back in to assist the club, who is someone who is known to us and who we have great confidence in, and we're providing what practical assistance we can there. I mean, by way of an example, we needed to work with the club to get the safety certificate transferred so that the match could go ahead on Sunday. So it's those kind of practical steps that sometimes people perhaps don't see.
How encouraged are you by the interest that has come through the RFL so far in the club, and how hopeful are you that will materialise in a potential successful takeover of the club?
I think it's very encouraging. I think we should all recognise that Bradford Bulls is one of the iconic clubs in the sport of rugby league, and it's of no surprise that there are a number of people expressing some interest. I think that any club that plays in front of 10,000 people and that's got the trophy cabinet that it has had is sure to command a lot of interest. So we're not really surprised that people are interested, but at the end of the day, it's the administrator whose professional obligation it is to explore those options and is taking them forward.
How much interest, and is that serious in your opinion?
Yeah, I think it is serious. I know the administrator's had a number of inquiries, and people have also contacted the RFL direct to ask for further information, and certainly there's interested parties out there looking to take on the club.
So today's Super League board meeting as well, that's gone ahead, and you kind of come back with a unanimous decision to offer full support to Bradford at this stage.
Yeah, the Super League clubs were adamant that the sport needs to do what it can to make sure that Bradford finishes the season, and also that its players are looked after.
And the licensing system seems to be getting a fair bit of criticism from the press. Is that fair game, would you say, or do you think there's certain areas and aspects of that system that need looking at when all this has gone away?
I think it's understandable that people are looking at the licensing system, because I think to a large extent people probably consider that the licensing system is some kind of panacea to all ills, that it's some indemnity against club failure over a 3-year period. But that's simply not the case. The reality is licences were developed across a number of different dimensions, and finance was only one of them. And there isn't any system that can be devised in sports administration that will stop people making poor local decisions.
Let's talk key dates over the next few days, because the administrator seems to chop and change quite a bit. I think he did say Friday was the deadline originally. I believe it's now Tuesday that is the deadline for kind of offers to take over the club.
Well, it's a very fluid situation. I think your question kind of highlights the fact that it's moving all the time. But certainly there's a home game to play this weekend, and I think there'll be a big turnout of Bradford Bulls supporters. And I think that people will show their support for the club. It's a matter for the administrator to work out precisely at what stage, and he has a deadline by which he's going to make some formal decisions. And our job is to work with him in exploring all the options that present themselves.